Success without losing yourself? We've all seen that movie scene where the protagonist finally reaches the top of the mountain, stands in the corner office with the panoramic view, or holds up the gold trophy, only to look into the nearest mirror and realize they don't recognize the person staring back. It is the classic tragedy of the hollow victory. We often talk about the price of success in terms of hours worked, sleep lost, or social events missed. But there is a much steeper, more insidious cost that doesn't show up on a bank statement: the slow erosion of your core identity. The terrifying thing about losing yourself is that it doesn't happen overnight. It isn't a dramatic explosion. It is a silent, creeping process of micro-compromises. It starts when you stop laughing at the jokes you actually find funny because they aren't professional enough. It continues when you adopt opinions you don't actually hold because they align with the people you are trying to impress. Eventually, you wake up one Tuesday morning, wealthy and respected, but completely unable to remember what actually brings you joy when no one is watching. So, how do we navigate this minefield? How do we climb the ladder without burning down the house that built us? The first step is to understand the difference between evolution and mutation. We are often told that to be successful, we must change. This is true. You cannot run a Fortune 500 company with the same mindset you had when you were delivering pizzas in college. You need to grow, learn new skills, and sharpen your discipline. That is evolution. Evolution is natural. It is an enhancement of what is already there. Mutation, however, is when you suppress your natural instincts to become something foreign. If you are naturally an empathetic, soft-spoken person, and you force yourself to become a ruthless, loud aggressor because you read in a book that leaders must be sharks, you aren't evolving. You are mutating. You are putting on a costume that doesn't fit. And the problem with wearing a costume for too long is that your skin starts to forget how to breathe. Real success comes from leveraging who you are, not exterminating it. If you are empathetic, lead with empathy. That becomes your unique superpower in a world of sharks. Authenticity is a far more potent currency than imitation. Another major trap is the deferred life plan. This is the dangerous logic that says, I will just be this robot for 5 years, grind myself to dust, and once I have the money, I will go back to being the fun, creative, relaxed person I used to be. It rarely works that way. Habits are like wet cement. They harden. If you spend 5 years training your brain to be anxious, hypercritical, and work-obsessed, you cannot simply flip a switch on your retirement day and become a Zen master. You become what you practice. If you practice stress and self-denial for a decade, that becomes your personality. To keep yourself, you must practice being yourself during the journey, not just at the destination. You have to protect your hobbies, your weird quirks, and your downtime as fiercely as you protect your profit margins. We also need to redefine what winning actually looks like. Society gives us a default template for success, a specific net worth, a job title, a certain aesthetic. But that template is one size fits all, and human souls are custom made. If your version of success involves living in a cabin and writing code for 4 hours a day while baking bread, but you are chasing the CEO of a generic tech giant's lifestyle because it looks better on LinkedIn, You are actively running away from yourself. You are winning someone else's race. There is no greater failure than succeeding at something that doesn't matter to you. You must sit down with yourself in a quiet room and ask, what does a good life actually feel like to me? Not what it looks like to others, but what it feels like to you. Furthermore, keeping your soul requires anchors. Anchors are the people, places, and activities that have nothing to do with your ambition. They are the friends who knew you before you were a big shot, the ones who will mock you if you start using corporate buzzwords at dinner. They are the activities you do purely for the love of it, where there is no money to be made and no audience to impress. Maybe it's painting terrible watercolors, playing video games, or hiking. These things tether you to the ground. When the winds of success start to blow and your ego starts to inflate, these anchors keep you from floating away into the stratosphere of arrogance and isolation. Finally, remember that vulnerability is the antidote to the mask. As we become more successful, we tend to build armor. We think we need to look perfect, invincible, and all-knowing. But that armor separates us from other people, and eventually it separates us from ourselves. We start believing our own PR. The strongest people are those who can stand at the top of the mountain and admit, "I'm scared," or "I don't know the answer." When you are honest about your humanity, you give yourself permission to just be a person rather than a monument. You are the vehicle for your success. If you destroy the engine to get across the finish line faster, you haven't really won. You've just wrecked the car. Treat yourself with the same level of strategic importance that you treat your business plan. You are not the raw material to be burned up in the fire of ambition. You are the flame itself. Keep burning, but don't consume yourself. If you felt a connection to this message and want to join a community of people who are redefining what it means to win, don't just scroll past. Hit that subscribe button so we can keep this conversation going. Smash the like button if you believe in staying true to yourself. And head down to the comments right now. Tell me one weird hobby or trait you promise never to give up, no matter how successful you become. Let's hold each other accountable.